And new information about this dangerous sexual predator caught. U.S. Marshals taking 9 days to catch Matthew Kalk, even though he wore a GPS ankle monitor. 7 News reporter Marshall Zelinger is live. Marshall, you discovered that GPS was not the kind that could help track him down?
No, and when Kalk walked away from this halfway house, he was wearing what's known as a passive GPS device. A crude example of that would be my running watch here. Using satellites, this tracks my locations. Basically, it stores that information. It doesn't share it with anyone until I dock this to a computer. And I have found that most people on probation in the state of Colorado are tracked using a similar type of GPS.
When Matthew Kalk, a dangerous sexual predator, failed to return to his halfway house, he could not be found, even though we discovered he was wearing what's known as a passive GPS device. You can see it on his ankle in this photo. Passive GPS logs a person's movement, but until they dock the device, you cannot see where they've been. In comparison, offenders in the city and county of Denver are tracked with active GPS.
The benefit of the active is it is in real time. We get point every minute.
To see just how the active GPS works, I put on an ankle monitor, walked outside, and drove around downtown. On this map, my every move is tracked. The green dot shows my location.
Do you know of any sex offenders in Denver County that would be passive GPS?
Not through this department, no. I can see it be more utilized with very low-risk offenders, that you don't need to know where they are in real time.
As for Kalk, we asked the director of his halfway house why he was on passive GPS monitoring. The director told me, quote, "Because we have other forms of accountability that we've been utilizing on our offenders." He said those other forms include having the offender sign out from the halfway house to a specific location, requiring the offender to check in within a certain time, then verifying that phone number is at that location. Kalk followed all those steps, but never returned to the halfway house.
I also found out that this halfway house monitors 10 other sex offenders, and each of them are monitored with passive GPS devices. Reporting live in Denver, Marshall Zelinger, 7 News.
Thanks, Marshall. We also checked those on probation from state prisons, and when GPS is used, the majority are given passive devices. We found out the court has to order active GPS. It's used on offenders considered highest risk and requires staff to monitor around the clock.